the efforts here. So there's a number of ways I think we could look at this. One way of looking at this, of course, it's voluntary, but one way to look at this is that, if you came to a dojo, it's kind of a mat fee that you would pay to participate. Another way is if you were a visitor to a dojo and you wanted to take sensei out for a cup of coffee afterwards and have a coffee with him and buy him a pastry and a coffee, that'd be another way of looking at donating. And even if it was just a coffee, something that you would just contribute for his time and effort. And I know he puts a lot of time and effort into these teachings and to simplify his message, as he's been doing for years. I mean, I've sat in cars with him for 6 hours at a time, talking with him as he began to and continue to hone his message and his ability to communicate this practice and the process to us all. So anyway, whatever you can do is really welcomed. It is voluntary, but thank you for whatever it is that you can afford. And there'll be something put into the chat where you could click on and then go in there and just make a donation for this class, as well as, whatever other classes that you come to. So thank you. Okay, if you'd like to share, looks like Sensei is just about ready. So if there's anything you'd like to share, just remember to unmute yourself, speak clearly, and Sensei really appreciates your participation. Sensei, please.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening. Okay. Oh boy, space again. Oh boy, before we get into that, hi out there. Has anything from the last couple of playing with space experiencing itself, the more original of space experiencing itself, anything bubbling through on that during the week? That was a question.
Hi, everyone. It's Justin. I've been waiting all week to share this with you guys. So I had an experience that I'm sure you can all relate to. This Monday, I went to the dentist for a deep cleaning. And so I'm there in the chair and, little by little, I'm going into the experience of being in the dentist, and I can feel my body becoming a little tense here and there. So at one point, I decide, remembering what Sensei shared with us, to just connect with the space I'm in. So I say, hello, space, and bring that into my field of experience, if you will, and then open up to being in the space I'm in. And my sense of tight, agitated body unwound a bit, and I sensed myself merging to some greater extent with the space I was in, and I was able to relax into the chair. And I had to repeat that process a few more times, but it was very helpful for me.
Okay, thank you. Somebody, anything? Again, zilch.
Sensei, Bob here.
Hey, Bob.
Struck even more than in previous times with how intelligent space is itself. Not what it can do, just the intelligence of space itself.
Yeah, we kind of take the approach that because there's a great intelligence through the whole creation, that every piece of it is intelligent at its own level. But intelligence, we figure that's in everything. So yes, the intelligence of the space itself experiencing itself. Yes. Okay. So, okay, thank you. People, anything?
For me, to follow up on what Bob had said, I was walking out on my usual walk tonight, and I noticed this raven that was over to my right that had this silver ball in its mouth. And there's a bunch of ravens around it, and it saw me, and it was kind of wondering about me, I guess. So it puts the ball down, watches me, and as I continued on the way, I looked back and I noticed that it then picked the ball back up. And so, what it flashed for me, it was just that, the intelligence of everything that's around us kind of gets revealed in the practice of opening up to space. It's like all the communications that are taking place kind of behind the scenes show themselves and allow me to actually connect with it.
Yeah. Again, thank you, Roy. Starting from my 2x2 or Robert level, whatever, anytime you get more room, more space, and we work it that way, then things like Roy was saying, a more awareness, easier to communicate with other things, see better, sense better, feel better, more awareness of your surroundings and stuff. Okay, so that's the dot style. That's like a 1x to a 2x to a 3x to a 4x, or weird Bobby's World. No, we don't go weird. It's too weird. Bobby's World. Yeah. Robert's World. There's already a sense of a little more space just in saying that. Robert's World. I already feel a little more spaciousness. Nadeau's World. I can feel it again. Feels more open and a little bigger. So that's starting from here, going this way, this way, this way, this way. And so a simple trick, a simple pattern. Justin's noticed I was getting tight, so I said, hey, more space. Boom. And in that next space or two, the body's relaxing and untightening itself and all of that. Okay. What we want to do tonight, though, is not go dot, 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 dot. We want to, as quickly as possible, play with space, with a sense of an original space. Now, because I right now say original, doesn't mean there's an original space that, for lack of words, I can sense. Okay. But I might keep that pattern up. Easy. Original space. A more original space. So I kind of use that as a come on, a line. Just because I say it doesn't mean I'm at that level. Okay. Did you follow that? Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Now, when we play here with space, basics again, not the idea. Oh, yes, space. Yes, space. Let me think about that. Okay. Here and now. Here. Space. More original space. Okay. Now, at first, we might have a body, and as we begin to, I don't know the word, sense, it's body level sensing. Okay. I'm not interested in body level right now. Easy. Then it's the surroundings, a little finer. There'll be the energy moving around in that. I'm not interested in that level. Okay. Saying it another way, goldfish in the water bowl. I'm not interested in the goldfish developing right now. Might take a moment and just start with him, because here I am, Bobby the goldfish. Or the water temperature, how the water moves and it's hey and ho and all of that stuff. That's nice, but I'm not interested in that piece The piece I'm very interested in is space itself. Okay. Here and now, space itself. Are we okay so far with those words? All right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well then, let's start. Space. Easy. Now, space itself, and then we begin, is flavoring itself. Easy. Space itself is experiencing itself as space. Space itself. Okay. See? And again, I'm probably easing the Bobby Goldfish, and I'm easing with the water so that just the space itself can take the stage fully. Okay. I'm not interested in the actor. I'm not interested in the, what do you call the furniture on the stage? There's a word, no?
What, the set or the props?
Props. I'm not interested in the props. Easy. The space, the space, the space. Okay, easy. So let's play there for a bit. Space. Inferring an original space. I'm just inferring, I'm not there yet, whatever there yet means. But the space we're interested in tonight is the original of space, as close as we can get. Space. Here, circular. Space. As space shows, it's a bit larger and, I don't know, freer. Space itself. Then the words and it's experiencing itself begin to not make more sense, but have a little flavor of that happening. Here. Easy. A more original space, inferring hopefully soon the original space. Okay. The original space. It's aware of itself, it's experiencing itself, space itself, experiencing itself as space. If you bump into what goes on in the space, the energy activities and stuff, not now, okay? We'll pass on it. I want to get as big a space as we can get and early a space as we can get here. And then we'll see about the development that goes on within the space, but not the development, movement, energies now. Just the space, period. Okay? Easy. Original space, easy. Original space, and it's experiencing itself. I don't fully yet have a feeling of it experiencing itself, so I often throw out the words knowing I'm not there, but it keeps me going. Is that okay? Space. Space itself, it's its own thing. It's a major piece of creation, and it's its own piece. Space itself, experiencing itself as space. For lack of words, that's flavoring better to me. Space itself, more original of space, experiencing itself as space. Now, for example, I was starting to hear things like something, I think it said like, oh, I'm very early. Okay, that's nice. But I don't want to get involved with that. I want to continue with just space. There's something else. I forgot already what it was. Anyway, as we're playing this game of getting to, I don't know the right words, getting to a more original space. You may bump into things on that journey. I'm not interested. I so noted, but I pass on real fast to continue space, just space itself, experiencing itself. A more original space, or space in its original nature, space, experiencing itself as space. I heard another word in there. I heard free. That's nice. I don't do anything with it. Space itself in its more original of space, experiencing itself space. Getting a sense of or feeling of pleasantness there. Again, I don't want to get caught up in those words yet. Just more space, earlier of space, the beginnings of space. Trying to bring you back a certain way to the beginnings of creation, and space was one of the very early pieces. Perfect. Very early creation process, if we say, space. So I hope that didn't get you thinking about stuff. Didn't mean for it to. Easy, a more original space. Hanging out with itself, experiencing itself as space. Let's take a little pause here. Potentially we'll come back to it. I kind of have a question of how would we know that we've reached our limit for the day of space, the more original space? Okay. Is that a proper question? How do you know you've reached the limit for the day? Bob, you want to jump in on that one?
Once you get kind of a sense that you may be there, since the space is intelligent and it's taking center stage, you can ask it, is there more today? Can we go further back toward the origins?
Yeah.
And the space will tell you, no, this is about as far as we go today, or yeah, there's more.
Yeah. And I might have that dialogue with the space sort of as a trick. I'm saying the same thing you are, but just change the words a little bit. Space, you're showing yourself. Can we go more further with you as space? Easy. Space. Space responds, space. And I'm hearing there's more. Okay. And I've felt the size, it improved back here, the space all around, the back part improved. And I don't know what to say. It seems clearer, more, I don't know, not yet open to whatever, but something like clearer. Okay, so that was a good little dialogue to have. Kept us going. So when we weren't sure, we did something to, I don't know the word, spark something, spark something or somebody here, and keep it going. Yeah. Okay. Anybody got anything else in that along those lines? Steve, you got anything? How do you know if you're reaching the outer limits of the space that's there for you today?
I got more of that sense of clear. It just opened up more, but it had a real sense of unencumbered and clear.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Teja, you on tonight?
Sensei, I think he's down with the COVID, so he's
Yeah.
probably not here.
Yeah, I knew. I just didn't know if he was well enough to watch tonight. Okay.
Hey, Sensei, it's Danny here.
Danny.
Yeah. Yeah, this I found myself kind of lost in the space, first of all, especially as you encouraged not to attach to anything. And
Okay, I'll hold it right there.
Slowly-
Right there, Danny. Hold it. Hold it.
yes,
Did the goldfish get lost in the space, in that big ocean of space? You see,
Mhm.
the space itself, can it really get lost? Who got lost? I got to keep a check on this space. Is that the goldfish talking? I'm not sure. I'm just throwing it out to you.
no, I think you're right the way you put that. Yeah. And slowly I became really, there was a familiar feeling to where I was. And then the space was speaking and saying about its self and its self-knowing. And that became quite a really strong pushing into my chest, and my posture lately has been really bad in my recovery, and it just my whole posture changed with this feeling.
Yeah.
Of
And again,
being
right there.
space.
Again, right there.
Yeah.
That's cool. But I don't want to go back to the goldfish. That the goldfish
Sure.
straightened up, that the goldfish was affected by that. But yes, but I don't care about goldfish. I don't care about temperature of waters and how it waves back and forth and in and out, whatever. So yes, yes, yes. But this is space itself. So I'm aware if there's a little reaction or something, but I don't get caught up in it. I don't want to go back to being a goldfish. I keep being a goldfish. The space can't show it's really there, kind of thing. But whatever. Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully these are tricks of the trade. Okay. I had a student once, and she could click into space. Bing, as soon as you did anything, space, she'd be in this vastness of space. It was so big. And it would scare her, but it was a her. She retained herself as a goldfish, and she couldn't cope with that big space. She'd get the hell out of there and come back to here. Hey, 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 hey. But I thought, wow, she had a talent. She could go, hey, and it'd be this vast space there. That was a talent. But what? She didn't know how to work with it, what it was. It would just show for her so big, so fast. That's a talent. She's lucking out there. She just didn't know what to do with the rest, because the goldfish, would anyway.
This is Nancy.
Nancy.
I'm getting this sentence coming to me that says, here is experiencing here. That if here is intelligence, then here can be experiencing here.
Okay, here
And
with an
that's-
H.
Yes,
Here.
here is
Here.
experiencing here.
Yeah. I think good, because I want to make sure we're not doing space as a concept out there kind of thing, but it's here. Okay.
Here is
As
experiencing
OSensei said,
here.
heaven is here. Well, after heaven, one of the early pieces is space. And it's
So
here. Yeah,
here is here, yes.
here's here. Yeah.
It feels generative that here and here experiencing here feels very generative, creative.
Okay. Now I'm not sure if we right now want to go further with space, but you see the forces are now starting to move in to the next parts of creation. Okay. I'm not saying that's wrong. We're all going to get there. In fact, I'll ask you to see what happens when we say, this is enough space for me. Now what? And then activity will start. Okay. So you have to determine whether you're going to try to stretch, for lack of a word, stretch the space out, go for more space, whatever the words are here. Space, the more original of space. If you're going to continue on that vein, or if you're saying that's enough, now what goes on in this space? And then things will start to happen. The creation will begin to unfold. TJ did a good job with that last week in how he laid it out, laid out some nice pieces there, how it begins to happen or lay out. We okay, Nancy?
Thank you, yes.
Yeah. Space. Space. Looking at the time, I think we're okay. Let's go back at it, okay? So easy, settle. Okay, continuing with space. The more original of space. Space, aware of itself, experiencing itself as space. Okay. I'm hearing it say, I'm everything. Everything. Okay. If it's all space, or getting close to all space, getting close to the original of space, then yeah, I'm all space. I feel the whole damn thing. I'm everything. Now, careful, it doesn't mean everything. There's other main pieces, but the space itself, getting fuller and fuller as space itself, or earlier and earlier at space itself, could begin to say, I'm everything. Don't misunderstand that phrasing. There's a couple other places that may have popped up historically. I can remember, I can't think right now because it's been some years, but where you hear something and that something says, I'm it. And you glom it and say, oh, that's it. The hell with everything else. No, when it's it, it'll say, I'm it. It doesn't mean I'm everything. Am I saying this well? And again, space. There is a finer, more original space. More original space. I'm getting a hell of a lot of clearness. And again, I just note it and I move along. That's nice. And continuing. Earlier space, more original space. Fuller of space. I'll throw words out, doesn't mean I'm there. The totality of space. Space in its totalness. I just hang out and see if that sort of changes the sense or changes space itself. Is that my bird or somebody else's TV? Or Brad, is that our bird out here?
No, something.
I think it's Roy's bird.
Yeah, somebody's crows. They said doing crow talk. Yeah. Ah.
Sensei, Sean
Yo.
here.
Sean here.
I have a sense of when you said totality, there's something resonated there, and it felt like a level of completion at the moment. No, not getting hung up on it. Just like complete. Here and now, there's a sense of like summation and generative quality.
Okay, now
I
you get
don't know.
into qualities.
Yeah,
So
okay,
that's
sorry,
activity now.
Yep,
Okay.
I hear you. No, completely generative space, completely, and just succumbed by that, and allowing that to be, and being more spacious in the moment.
Are you saying this is sort of your clue that you've done enough for today on space? Is that
a threshold? I don't think that there's. I mean, I think you could hang out with that one for an eternity.
I'm asking about you?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I'm getting I'm getting more. I would like hang out with it more. I've got patience.
Okay.
I will do that
Okay.
longer.
Okay. All right. And then again, if I'm not sure, I might try a couple of different words to see if it responds.
Yep.
Yeah. And if no words I can come up with get a response, then I figured that's it for today.
Yep.
And then I'll do the second part.
Yep.
Which is going to be what goes on in this space. Okay, let's take a pause there. Space. Be quiet, calm. Talking to me about something like it could look calm and quiet and kind of with a darker sense tone to it, a darker tone to it. I was trying to explain that to me. Yeah, we'll let it go. But any dark sense, this is empty kind of thing, is not really empty as humans call empty. It's a vast space. And then click, it'll start to, the next part will start to lay themselves out. Okay, are we okay with those words?
Sensei, Sean here again.
Yeah.
How about just at that moment of reassembly?
Reassembly.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the activity that goes on in the creation?
No,
What are you
when
talking
space acknowledges itself, and there's a sense of absolute vastness, and then there's a sense of, I don't know, somewhere there's like a reassembling process happening in the
Okay,
back.
right there, it's talking about it's going to create soon. You're starting to pick up the creation there, the assembly, how it assembles, the character that it mixes up, the assembly. You're starting to get that part of it is what you're hearing.
Could it not be just like a happening behind the scenes, like completely behind the scenes, just like emanating from underneath?
Possibly. If you think so, go for it. Okay.
Got it.
For me right now, it's getting past my pay grade.
Mhm.
Okay. Who is it that created space? The unnameable. Getting a little bit past my pay grade at the moment. Okay. Just space. Space. If you can get more out of space with whatever you're saying, if sensing D, you said something about deeper, if sensing deeper, something more in the bottom, then go for it and see if that facilitates more space being space. It's yours to do. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Whoosh. Space. Interesting sensation, though, people. Isn't it just for this vast space here and now? Just space. I don't know. In a certain way, I'd be hard pressed to come up with words, but it's an interesting, again, for lack of words, sensation. I don't really mean that, but something, spaciousness, blah, blah. Okay. See, what else Sensei tell me? He says it's cool if you were to do this first, because then when the creation starts to show how it creates, you kind of know, you'll pick up things that originally got you here, to Bobby, Robert, Nadeau, whatever. Where am I going? I'm trying to remember how he said it. By having a good space there, like we're doing, then as things continue with the creation, okay, because we've done space, the assembly, my word here, the assembly, the energies mixing, are much more balanced. So by doing the space first, as it comes back and starts the heavier of creation, there's much more natural balance there because you did the space first. Do you have a sense of that? How that could be? Did I aside you too much? Okay. Now, very slowly, let's say we've reached our limit of that space, experiencing itself as space, and now the next is going to happen easy within the space. What is, for lack of words, next? So space. Next. What's your sense of next in the space? In the space, next. For example, in my case, I'm getting this, it's much more than alive. Roy, I think you used the word with me when I was with you on the phone. about all these little things. Do you remember? Did you say that? Or was that, if it wasn't you, Roy, it was Steve?
What was that?
What word did you use at this point here?
Clear and unencumbered.
No, a bunch of things running around.
Like pixels? Are we talking?
Yes, pixels?
Yeah, pixels.
Pixels, yeah. A million beep, 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 all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah?
Yeah.
So my aliveness is showing like that, but damn strong. The pixels are like each one a diamond. And they're just, I don't know, radiating, glowing. Kind of like I'm looking at one of the new pictures of space, but just at the stars twinkling. And it's like, oh my God. Okay. Or a city person goes to Alaska and gets a chance to look at the sky and, oh my God, the stars, and so many of them, they're so close and stuff. I'm getting that kind of thing. So anybody with the first basic, it's all alive. Use your words. Alive is nice for me. What's your word?
Animated, invigorated.
Invigorated.
Animated.
Alive. Okay. Somebody?
I'm picking up vibrant.
Okay. So vibing. Okay. And for me, all vibing and alive are very similar. So I don't have any trouble bouncing those two words for me back and forth. It's all vibrant. It's all alive. All alive is vibrant. Okay. Somebody, your first sense of the activity within the space. We're starting from the beginning as best we could from the beginning. And here's the next within space. What's your next?
You know, for me, it's got like a creative aspect to it. So there's a creation that's occurring through it.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so something, let's say alive, just to say something, it's all alive. And that was Roy, right? And Roy's getting, hearing, sensing, it's going to create. Okay. Yes, the creative process is going to start now. Okay. There might have been something before that, but good so far, right? Good. Somebody, the early stages of the activity within the space. How are you picking it up?
Articulation and differentiation. You are so great at this. You are able to distinguish the subtle details of being more present, and I feel like that's what it is. Articulation and sort of like the activation of stuff, the particulars.
The stuff itself is what? The stuff itself is what?
Animated.
Animated.
Enlivened.
It's alive. Okay. Stuff itself is alive. Good enough. Somebody. Diane, you can't just sit there and look at me. Say something. That's nice, but your machine is off.
So it seems as if it's coalescing, it's gathering itself somehow.
Okay, gathering itself somehow. And we have to let that unfold, I guess. It seems to be gathering itself to do what? What's going to happen right then? It's gathering itself. Ba-doom, next. You track your own activity. You're in your own universe here. It's laying out how it laid out. You keep track of your own progress. We're kind of, in a certain way, doing a replay of how we got here. I would like you to have that sort of mapped out. Okay, get a sense of it. Then when we get here and get condensed as Bobby, Robert, whatever, we'll have a better sense of things, and that might facilitate exiting out of this lobster trap manifest creation vortex that we're in. Okay, so I would map it. Is that map okay a word? Okay. Somebody in the space, activity starts. Okay.
Say something. Yeah. Hi, Sensei. It's Dusty. For me, the first part of the class was just like my back energies, just like feeling like I was kind of expanding all from my back.
Stop. I don't want to hear goldfish talk. What did my body feel? I give shit right now about your body, goldfish. I give shit about how the energies will and wall. We're talking about the space, not the goldfish saying space. I got more space. Oh, oh yeah, there, that's better. I've got more space. I'm not talking goldfish talk now. Are you okay with my on your case?
Yeah, I love it. I guess it feels stretchy, but that's still my body. That's still me. That's still goldfish.
Goldfish, yeah. I'm not interested right now in goldfish. We'll get to the goldfish as creation continues to create. We'll end up back, if you want, back into goldfish country, but not when we said space. You've got the floor. Original space, as best as it can show to me, original space. Boom. Space. Okay. And then slowly, I'd like people to see how it creates, first it's alive. You can sort of generally agree on that. There's some kind of overall aliveness, whether you saw pixels or diamonds or stars or it all was humming. It's alive. Could we agree sort of temporarily on that word? Then click, what's the next? Page, okay? So on this, in this space, first page is alive. Cool. Second page, next, is what?
Releasing. I get releasing. This is Nancy.
Who?
Nancy.
Oh, okay.
I get releasing.
Releasing who? What? Help us here.
A sense of releasing of energies, releasing, like the Big Bang, releasing.
The energies are released. Okay, the energies, maybe the energies of creation are being released, and now it's going to start its continuing creating thing. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Sure. Somebody, page 2.
Sensei, it's Gina.
Hey, Gina.
I keep getting the sense that space really loves what goes on here. It's kind of gets excited when it starts. It's like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, well, it's a main piece, not the main piece, but a big time main piece. So of course, the whole thing's excited about itself.
It really enjoys it.
Yeah. I say we got sort of caught up in the trap, and we're back to Bobby Land and a lobster in a lobster trap, whatever. But we don't realize the more original, truer of creation is what you're saying. You know, there isn't all loving there. There isn't all, what are you using? What, joyful? What?
No, I just said it gets excited because it just loves what happens here.
Yes, it's excitement. It loves what, there's all loving there. not to be confused with I love, I don't love. I sort of like you, but I used to love you, but you ate my Twinkie. Screw you.
No, it's not like that.
We're talking about an original one, which your human mind can't quite comprehend. But as we get there and actually have the experience, we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Again, I'm diverging. So here's the creation starting to unfold. You're involved, all alive. Somebody had a sense of the word creating or something. Good, yeah. Okay. Now, what's your next sense? Page 2 or page 3, wherever you're at. What's your next sense? No Ken sense?
Dusty, I might still be a fish in a fish tank, but I'm wondering, like, it almost looks like a seed, like a seed within a seed, and there's like space.
A seed?
A seed. Yeah, a seed
Yeah.
within a seed, but then space around there. That's my take on the second level, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm not sure here what to say, but we have had a sense historically with a lot of our work was going through the hard shell, and that in the hard shell is a seed. Okay. All right. In other words, you might say, I used to be just a body, but then I realized there was a core. Wow. And the core sort of permeated the body and ran the body and enlivened the body. Eventually we could say, that's the self that was there, hidden because things are kind of heavy. So the word seed has come up before through the years. And anyways, I'm not sure where you're at with it here, but the word is okay. We'll see what you're going to do with it or what happens with you. Okay. Atij's layout last week was kind of cool. He picked up, if I recall, at this point in the game, qualities, love. And then this mixing, if you would, of a character was beginning. Okay. So his layout pattern, I don't recall exactly, but he's not on tonight, but I thought he was heading pretty good. Here's a space, it's all alive. Next, they're qualities, mixture of qualities. He was picking up one of them. He's got a few others, okay? But that's a first main one for him. And that mixture of colors mixes up you, the character, but character may be too heavy a word. We might want to use the word archetype here. A finer level. And as you get heavier and heavier, now we have a character. Okay. So I don't know if character is a good word at this level, but it's mixing up a prototype that will eventually, tighter and tighter, become a character who has those qualities, but they maybe have been tainted a bit with the heaviness. They're not as pure as they originally were in this big space. Do I digress too much there for you all?
Sensei Bob here, kind of along the lines of Tisha and what you were just saying. You said a couple minutes ago you were interested in our experiencing how we got here. And so this place in creation that you're talking about, those options, those qualities begin to present themselves in a very pure way.
Yeah, no, they're at this level, they're very pure.
And each of us at that level gravitate towards certain qualities. Like you said, Tisha's was beauty, and then he had some others.
OSensei used the word soaking there. He said in his first piece, whatever, certain qualities are attracted to you, or you're attracted to certain qualities, whatever. And you soak with those qualities, or we did soak with those qualities. Okay. So at one level, we have very pure qualities there. Now, as it continues, that's when we start to spin in, and the quality purity is, I don't know, can't show as clearly. It gets tainted. So they're still there, but they're not in their purest form. Okay. All right. The teacher say beauty? Bob, do you remember it was Tisha's first word?
That was beauty.
Beauty. Yeah, beauty. Yeah, beauty. Yeah, beauty. Okay, beauty. I said love, didn't I? Beauty. Yeah, that's right. Okay. All right. So even the beauty, zoom, 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 he's a good-looking guy. There's a kind of attraction he has, some type of beauty, but we might not use the word in the physical realm, but some type of beauty shows through. It's there, that kind of thing. So anyway, it's very pure and it's more original. Okay. But as we get caught up and get into the vortex, into heavier and heavier and heavier, those perfect, beautiful colors, beautiful qualities aren't quite the same as the more original. But even here, we can use them. We have used them. What quality comes easy to you, kind of thing, to extricate ourselves from tighter, using that form to backtrack. To get out of the tightness, back to a more original, truer self, the true self. Am I diverging? Am I laying out too much here?
Sensei, I think one thing that's beneficial in the practice you've led us through, if we start from this pure space, this most original or close to it original space,
we can get.
When we begin that movement back in, as you were just describing, it may help us to get less convoluted with those qualities than we would otherwise.
I think that's why, saying again what I said, OSensei said, was establish a space first, because it can really help position you better. I know the sense of being more squared away, lined up properly with your qualities, whatever, that having done this first facilitates whatever you're going to get into, you'll get there a little bit better. It's something like that. That's very close, is what he told me. Okay, so we'll see. Okay. Anybody, anything on their page 2, their page 3? What's going on in this activity in the space now, the activity?
Yeah, this is Amy in Florida. Initially, when I first, initially it seems like it was quiet, but as it kept as I kept getting closer, moving through it, it seemed like there's sound in this space.
Vibration, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sound vibration, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And next page, did you get there yet? I'm just trying to track the creation happening, going page at a time here. All I'm trying to do. Is that illusion, people?
I don't know if activation is the right word, but it feels.
I can't hear. Who's that?
Autumn.
Autumn.
Feels like
Autumn. Can't hear you. Again?
Test. Can you hear me?
We're checking here.
You're not coming through very loud at all. If you can either get close to your mic, turn up your volume, or switch microphones.
Autumn, yell.
So it's the space feels like it's interacting and moving kind of inward and creating that vibration, and it's getting thicker and thicker, but also creating a sense of quiet, which then is creating an activation of some kind and creating that beat that then moves outward as well.
Okay. So the possibility here is it's moved into two forces, whatever you want to call them, he, she, yin, yang, hey, ho, whatever. And as those two forces dance with each other, okay, creation continues. You might be talking about that quiet spot in the middle of that, okay? It could be at this level. Anyway, yeah. So I think so far so good. Okay. So that great one thing had to, in the beginnings of creation, had to move into two things, because the one thing, the creation wouldn't be quite right. I don't know if it could create, or something wouldn't quite be right. But by having two, then that set the standards. Two forces to create. Okay. So all the way down to Bobby land, I got a mommy and I got a daddy. And because there was a mommy and a daddy, there was a Bobby. Okay. So all the way down the line, it follows that pattern. Okay. So we take advantage of that pattern, for example, at whatever level we're at, doing whatever it takes to be balanced with two forces. Whether you're using inhale, exhale to represent that, or chanting hey, ho, whatever, up, down, whatever. If that's two forces, then something should be going on here. Here, if you acknowledge it. Okay, don't get caught up in that. Ha ha. You're making the two forces so tight they can't really breathe. So, hey, oh, easy. Something's changing here. How do I know? Because there's that force and that force. Or, hey, oh, take a moment. Anything happening here? Anything happening here? Hey, oh, that sounded a bit better. The texture of those sounds was better. Take a moment. What's happening here? Anything happening here? Okay. Either a better character, eventually a better self will show through. So that using balance is main piece of work. Main piece of work that we've always taught. Okay. Aikido, they do left side and right side. Like what I always say is any other art I did, we did it as a right-handed person. Aikido, so now left, now right. Now left, now right. So after a while, you couldn't tell your left from your right. They felt kind of equal. Okay. So that was a cute insert into Aikido. Okay. To start them off from the get-go with a sense of balance. Now, whether they caught on to what that really meant, and if they did left and right, and take a moment, what's going on here? Am I a better person? Has anything changed? Well, let's do another one, left, right, and let's take a moment. Anything changing here? Oh, I feel a little straighter. Okay, cool. Ain't much, but yes, we're stepping in the right direction. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm just going over old-time basics here, right? Anyway, so what I would have liked to have done, and we'll move on to something else here now, with letting the creation unfold a page at a time. Okay. So you could feel how the forces work, how they, two forces will begin to dance. The character, again, to every word, the prototype, the archetype. I like the word archetype because it's finer than a character, okay? The qualities that make up archetype are finer qualities. A character I'm down to, I don't have great love, I sort of like you maybe kind of thing. But at archetype, it's a purer level. We'll get into archetype discussion another time, yeah? Because it does fit into the big picture. Okay, where'd hell? Okay. Now we've done space, okay? Now, for lack of words, let's come back to your character, your person. Let's come back to your Bobby or your Robert. Okay, I'm back into whatever. As if we did space last night, but today I'm back in my normal set, doing normal things, okay? So far, so good. Now, as a person, Robert, whatever, because yesterday you did space or got involved with space, whatever the right words are, allowed space to show, had a sense of it, whatever. Can now, the next day, can Robert do anything with that? Or does that help facilitate anything in Robert? I don't know if I'm asking it quite properly, but you get the sense of what I'm asking? Because you did space on Monday, does it do anything for you on Tuesday? And how, what might happen? You're not going to jump on that one, huh?
For me, I want to come back to my dentist experience. I have a familiarity of being in a certain or working with a sense of a certain space, and my experience of the world I'm in was freer and more comfortable for the character that was experiencing his world. There was a translation there. A character had just some more room to be comfortable and express himself in.
Could we say, because we majored in space, that after the next day, the next week, and then the days after, it's much easier to acknowledge there's more space?
Absolutely, yes. That's for me, it was what I did. I said, hello, space. And there was a familiarity there.
So even though we're doing a 3x3 space or a 4x4 space, it was still space related. So doing this more original one may remind us during the week that there's space.
There was a familiarity that wouldn't have been there if I hadn't touched on it a few times before. And I do the same with self. Hello, self. Hello, space.
Okay. People, you tracking what we're playing with here? What's your sense of how this might beneficially affect you? You're back to your human condition, but you had a good session last night with space. Wow, it was really fantastic, big space, da-da. Okay, next day, here you are. Ha. Does that facilitate anything the next day? He said he feels more familiar with it. It was easier to go, oh yeah, space. Hey. Okay, seemed like it facilitated something. Somebody?
I find it also facilitates a sense of listening, that there's a different level of listening that's available to all that is. I mean, in my walk with the raven or whatever, that there's just a different perspective on things.
Okay. So with this sense of space being there, I don't know how to word this, he automatically ties that into communication, listening, probably being more aware. So for whatever reason, maybe that's a main quality, communication. The whole creation communicates with itself, talks to itself, whatever. So more space, that's just one. Oh, and in more space, I get to talk better. I get to listen better. I see things different because I'm at a whole different level here because of this more space. So I think that might be an opening for a quality to show. Okay. Yeah, it's maybe makes sense if I'm real tight and say I've got a major quality of love. I'm hard pressed, but in more space, it might be starting to show a bit in more space because that quality has more space to be a better quality there. That's cool. Yeah. Anybody want to jump in on this? You've done space. Very good job. Is it going to facilitate anything beneficial for you? Ta-da!
Sensei, Chris from New Zealand.
Hey.
I found in playing, I've just currently changed jobs and moved into sales. So I found that when I came to a customer, there wasn't that immediate sort of sales jump on them or that rush to communicate, rush to do something. It was more patient, timely, and that space and sort of situation created a dialogue between the two, myself and the customer as well. So it brought just calmness, I guess, a calmness and a sense of no panic.
In a tight space, we're crowded for time. Is that where you're going?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. You're always going to be crowded in a tight space. If we get more familiar with, space is natural, space is air. I've touched it at its not maybe it's most original, but we're old friends. And should facilitate being calmer, being patient, having more time, or allocating your time much better. Okay. Yeah. You know, people get really tight. I don't have time. And they start freaking out. So space and the time. Okay. Space and time. Well, since it got to a level of no space, no time. Very original, beyond my human ken understanding. Anyway, somebody, you got a minute?
Sensei, Sean here. The sense of
don't word me to death, Sean. Go ahead, slowly.
Ripeness and sense of fruition.
I don't know what those words mean. Talk English to me.
Okay, so like when he was talking about customers, there's a sense of ripeness. I mean, I'm in the same situation. I'm in sales. I've never been in sales my whole life, and suddenly I'm thrust there, and I'm like, okay, there's a ripeness of the situation that I can acknowledge, but I can't rush.
Yeah. In more space. Don't rush it in more space. You tend not to because more space. And there's a ripeness,
ripeness, yes.
Yeah. Proper timing, proper
fulfillment.
Okay. Somebody, thank you, Sean. Get well. John, get well. Yeah.
Thank you, Sensei, very much.
Going to finish up in a couple of minutes. So, hey.
Something for me, it feels like after the work with space, like a relief. Like I don't have to. There's just less pressure. Yeah, like more ease.
Yeah. Pressure. One way of looking at it could be me in a 2x2. I need more space, and I try to push into more space, which maybe I can look at. Oh, thank God, there's more space. But that work to move from a 2x to a 3x, I'm not doing it right. It's too much work. Okay, so right now we skipped all of that, the tricks of the trade of moving from a 2 to a 3 to a 4 or whatever, and just said, well, let's just get the sense of space, get that first. See if that facilitates us down the line. Yeah, is that where we're going here? Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like, even in the human condition, space is just there, right? Don't know how to say that better, but space is just there. Right here, oh, there's only this much space. Okay, easy. Oh, there's the space of the whole house. Easy, easy. Oh, there's the space of this block of houses. It's just there. It's just there. I'm just acknowledging it. Easy. Oh, whoa, the space of the whole neighborhood. Whoa, it's there. I didn't have to create it. It's there. The space of the town, the space of the state, the space of the country. I didn't have to create it. Just, I don't know, acknowledge it. And experiential knowledge. Yeah. So having a big sense of an original or more original should hopefully facilitate us here in our tight times, taking advantage of that. Oh yeah, but space is a buddy of mine. Hey, boom, hey, space. Okay, it shouldn't be such a chore to open up space. Not after you made friends with a much more original space. This ought to be easier and easier. Okay. Blah, blah. I'm getting close to the end. You got anything you're dying to say that I'm dying to hear?
Any last minute comments for Sensei before we close up here?
Somebody asked what this drink is. I drink Emergency. It's a good drink for me. Emergency.
Well, Sensei, that may be it. I just want to
That's
thank
it?
you. Maybe it looks like it. I want to thank you again for tonight's class. It's been great as usual. And I just want to reiterate the opportunity for people to buy Sensei a cup of coffee. If you haven't done it before, it's a grande mocha with light whip and extra hot. So buy him a pastry too. Make a donation.
Hang on a second. Diane, you still on Weinberg?
Yes, I'm here.
I got to get to that passing over. Are you on next week?
Probably. Let me.
Good. I want you to start with Mommy's story.
Okay. 29th. 29th.
Call me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'll be here.
Okay. So next week we'll try for passing over. Now, I know you young people don't really care about that, but you never know. There could be an accident, but there's a lot of gray hair out there. But as best as I can prep you, okay? There is a book. Bob, we're talking about it, but I forget the name of the book already.
Proof of Heaven.
Proof of Heaven by Dr. Aurora. That's I just skimmed a couple pages only. I haven't read the book yet, but a very smart guy. What was he, Baba? Amongst other things, a neurosurgeon.
He's a professor at Harvard Medical School.
I mean, that's a smart guy, right? Also, again, I just had a little sense of him. I just read a few pages, but he was, what do you call him? Temporary die.
Near-death experience.
For days, okay? And he had a brain disease, great thing to get for a brain surgeon type, right? Where the whole brain just stops. So he knew his experiences weren't brain activated because his brain was totally shut down, kind of thing. And yet he's having these experiences. So that was cool. I sense he's well developed because for what little I know, I just read a couple of pages ago. He moved along quite well and in seemingly proper fashion. So anyway, if that book, Bob?
Proof of Heaven.
Proof of Heaven. If you want to go over that real fast this week, we could use it as there's scads of books out there on passing over and temporary, whatever. But I thought from what I could sense was a few pages, he did a damn good job. Bob, did you say it was a bestseller?
A big time bestseller, yes.
Big time bestseller. I can see why, just from the couple of pages I read. I'll try to read more and borrow off of them a bit. Enough for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei. Thank you, everyone, for coming. We'll see you next week.
Faith is your friend.
Thank you.